Somebody just called up and said, that he figured this was all to collapse into a new system. And it's exactly right. The private sector is being forced to collapse and collapse into a single-payer system. We know this is true. The White House, in fact, what was the lady's name? You played her on TV.
Linda Douglas.
Yeah. Linda Douglas. She actually had this whole thing where she came out and she said, I'm just here to tell you about the truth and to dispel some of these vicious lies. In fact, here is the one on single-payer system.
Hi, I'm Linda Douglas. I'm the communications director for the White House Office of Health Reform. And one of my jobs is to keep track of all the disinformation that's out there about health insurance reform.
Sure.
And there are a lot of very deceiving headlines out there right now, such as this one. Take a look at this one. This one says, uncovered video. Obama explains how his health care plan will eliminate private insurance. Well, nothing could be farther from the truth.
Amen.
You're right. Who always try to scare people.
Listen to this.
Whenever you try to bring them health insurance reform, are at it again. And they're taking sentences and phrases out of context and cobbling them together to leave a very false impression.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. So they took sentences
and cobbled them together.
Out of context and made it mean something it didn't.
We want to play for you again. Now that you're seeing, when we said this before, it was all theory. Look, they are going to create a system that will collapse, and it will collapse. It will force people out of the insurance companies because it will force them to raise their rates because it's telling them exactly what you have to be compliant. And so you will pay too much, you won't be able to afford it, and it will force you in to a single-payer system. That's what we have, and we have the president on tape saying it, and everybody said, you're a conspiracy theorist. No, that's what the president said. And so when that started to make just a little bit of traction, they immediately came out and they said what Linda Douglas just said, that we took it out of context. Notice she didn't play anything that we would play. They just took it and they cobbled things together. How many edits are in this next piece, Pat?
You mean between the segments?
Yeah, between the pieces.
There's a bunch of different speeches.
There's a bunch of different speeches, but there's the segments themselves are not edited.
Okay, the segments are not edited. Yeah. We just have several times he said it.
Yeah.
Now listen.
How do we get the federal government to take care of its business? I happen to be a proponent of a single-payer universal health care plan.
Okay, so this was a 2002 or 3 speech where he's saying...
He's talking in front of union people, and he is a proponent
at SEIU
of single-payer health care. Yeah. A proponent of single-payer health care.
That's no reason why the United States of America, the wealthiest country in the history of the world, spending 14% of its gross national product on health care, cannot provide basic health insurance to everybody. And that's what Jim's talking about when he says everybody in, nobody out.
Okay, stop. That's what we're talking about when we say everybody in and nobody out. So in other words, you are in this healthcare system and no one is outside of it. There's no edits. There's no trickery here.
Single-payer healthcare plan.
Single-payer
healthcare plan. That's what I'd like to see. But as all of you know, we may not get there immediately.
Stop. There it is. But as all of you know, we may not get there immediately.
Spells it out completely right
So
there.
we have to take steps, and so here it is. We've taken the step to Obamacare. You can keep it. You can have it. You can keep your doctor. You can keep your insurance. Just pass this bill. Just pass this bill. Just pass this bill. Well, what's in the bill? Just pass the bill. And then when you have the bill, we got to change the bill. But we're going to change it through HHS. We're not even going to change it. We're not even going back through Congress because we're not going there again. We'll just change it through HHS. That's not been done before. Understand, that's new. That makes the president a dictator. When he can change the law without going to Congress, that makes him an authoritarian leader. Not been done before, but they do it anyway, and nobody seems to care. So what happens? You get this website. You have to be in it. You start getting your cancellation notices. And what is he going to do? I guarantee you the next thing, he's already blaming Verizon for the website not working. Now that's what he's saying. It's day 30, 10 hours, 41 minutes, 32 seconds, day 30 of this website not working. Whose fault is it? Not theirs. Now it's Verizon's fault. Verizon's fault. Really? Is it, Mr. President? The next person that's going to take the fall is these evil insurance companies. They're just jacking up the rates. Well, the reason why they're jacking up the rates is because they have to comply and give old people pregnancy insurance. They also have to have other things like you have to have everybody in. You can't have pre-existing conditions. Well, how am I going to do that and stay open? It can't. It will collapse the system. So they have to raise rates. He will next go after these evil insurance companies that have raised rates. He's collapsing the system. That's what's happening. And did he say that? Yeah. He's a proponent of single-payer health care. His ally said it's not a Trojan horse. It's right there. It's right there. That was what will happen.